I'm rewatching Outlander from the beginning. Let's talk about episode 3 and how it perfectly builds tension between Jamie and Claire with just a look. As always, this will have spoilers for the books and the TV show, so if you are looking to avoid those, please do keep on scrolling. This episode and this scene in particular will go down in history books as one of the best nonverbal communication scenes I've ever seen on screen. But it's not the only time in this episode that Claire and Jamie communicate with just a look. So let's talk about it. One of the first examples that we see Claire and Jamie having this unspoken rapport is when Jamie comes to pick her up from Gaelis's, and Gaelis tries to get Claire to stay and talk about her upbringing and her history, and Claire doesn't want to, so she immediately leans on Jamie to be her escape. All it takes is one glare from Claire for Jamie to immediately know that she wants to get out of there, and he comes up with a reason for them to leave. This plays out a little differently in the books. Claire and Jamie are leaving anyways because Jamie wants to, not necessarily because Claire feels the need to, but I think that the show uses this as an opportunity for us to see how on the same page they are with one another. Because Jamie immediately springs into action and gives them a valid reason to leave Gaelis early despite her asking them to stay. Then, of course, later on, we get our first real example of Claire being jealous after she sees Jamie and Leary kissing one another and says something to him while seated at the dinner table. Jamie immediately steps on her foot as if to tell her, knock it off, don't go there, and Claire finds this very humorous. Jamie does not, but they immediately know what's going on between them, and the rest of the room, I imagine, Myrta specifically, are probably picking up on this playful banter between them. Jamie is clearly not happy that she's bringing this up in front of Myrta because he knows that he's going to hear it from him later on, but I love the expression on his face because he's telling her exactly how he feels without verbalizing it in front of people. Later on, when they are meeting in the Great Hall, Jamie says to her, "Didn't you see me waving? I nearly re-injured my arm." And him waving from across the room, if that's not a declaration of I want to sit with you and be near you and I enjoy your company, I don't know what else is. He also holds her hand when they're walking to their seats together, so another way for him to non-verbally say, "You're with me," to her and everyone else who can see them. And for every example of this kind of playful, fun banter that the two of them have together, there's equal parts tension between the two of them. And never more prominent than this scene here when Claire is changing his bandages. I've said this in a few other videos, but these two absolutely have nailed by this point in the show, 3 episodes in. They have a very specific look that they give one another when they're trying to amp up the tension between the two of them. Specifically, Sam Heughan, who plays Jamie, he has this very specific way that he relaxes his eyes and looks at her. And we immediately pick up on that repetition as, okay, he's looking at her because he wants her really badly in this moment. And Claire starts to mirror that in this episode. When the two of them make eye contact, it's literally like fireworks on the screen, and it sucks you in as a viewer because you just want to know what they're thinking. And we don't get any words between the two of them, but it's saying everything that there is to say anyways. And we see this time and time again, that they have this look down pat that they reuse in specific moments throughout the show. Later episodes, this is from season 4 when they're in Jamaica, and they just recreate this moment over and over again and create a parallel back to this original moment where we really, really feel that tension as strong as it ever has been up until this point. And in particular, the intimacy of Claire reaching to his neck and tending to his shoulder, they reuse that in season 3 when she comes back to this time to be with Jamie after being gone for 20 years. This scene is almost a direct replica of the hand movements and the lighting and everything going on in episode 3 from season 1 to have that call back between the two of them. And I think that's just very high praise for this scene as being the foundational moment between the two of them when their nonverbal cues and communication was established firmly for the first time. I mean, even down to the blocking and the camera positioning, this scene here from season 1 is almost entirely the same as this shot here from season 7. I mean, it's very, very beautifully shot. The lighting, they are doing the same thing where they're backlit, and we get the same sort of sense of that here where the light is hitting the side of their faces, like from the fireplace in season 1, the window in this shot, and Jamie again replicating that look of longing and love and appreciation of her in this exact scene here later on. So very well done by the camera crew and the creative team to make a reused scene feel like new, but also bring us back to the roots of the show and their love in its infancy.